You know, Joni, a lot of times you and I think it would be nice to spend a whole day sitting quietly in a room with nothing to do. But you know, the truth of the matter is after a while, it's not so much fun. And that's exactly what happens to dogs here at the shelter. They are confined to a kennel the majority of the day. We're very fortunate. We have some super volunteers who dog walk at least twice a day. Right. And take them to the dog park.
And we actually schedule for dog walking
schedule
as well.
for dog walking. But what do you do when you're stuck in that little kennel to the whole day long? And so it's really important, again, to have those stress busters.
Sure.
And for that reason, we have the new enrichment program that we do here at the Humane Society. And the program was inspired by toys that were made for dogs.
Sure, busy toys.
Busy toys. And this is a cube that you can put treats in or dog food in, and then you put the little center back in, and your dog rolls this around the house or rolls it around the yard because it is very noisy. And as they spin it around, the treats will fall out.
Sure.
And the dog learns real quickly that they get rewarded. Well, these types of toys are difficult here at a shelter because of bacteria and cleanliness, that type of thing. And so we do some of our own recycling here at the shelter, and we do that with milk jugs or other real heavy-duty plastic.
Right.
It's very important we don't use water jugs because dogs can crush these too easily, so we don't use those. We also use cereal boxes or cardboard boxes, and what we do is we put some goodies in there,
Can you
some
see this?
treats, and then a gob of peanut butter. And believe it or not,
gross, actually.
the dogs smell that in there, and they rip it apart. And you know, I'm amazed. They actually do not ingest the cardboard. They rip it open and they lick that peanut butter off, and they have fun doing it.
Right.
It's a great stress buster. So a lot of times I know that we have to apologize that sometimes our kennels look a little messy, but the dogs are happy because they can do this.
And the other thing is too is obviously is that, you know, anybody who's ever had a big dog, and of course, you know, you've got this in your recycling bin and the dog takes it out and he flips it all over the place and he has a great time with it and he chews on it and he chews and he chews and he chews. But the other thing that, which obviously is a nice way to reduce the stress, but the other thing is that we actually take kibble, dog food, and we put it inside here. And you can see that there's quite a bit in here. And then, of course, again, the dog is going to actually use that action of flipping and moving. And then, of course, when the food comes out, there's a reward. And, you know, this is a great way, again, to entertain your dog, to create some really good energy as far as just, and there's a reward involved in that. So.
Right, and that's really important. And things that you can do at home, and we do it here with the dogs also. We have Kong toys. A Kong it's hollow. If you've ever played with this empty and you throw it, it bounces in different directions. But what you can do is you can put, this one has turkey and ham and some kibble in it and peanut butter. And then what we do, and I'd like to do this at home, is I freeze it. So that this is a great thing to give your dog. I have to go to work now. Here's your Kong toy in your crate or in your kennel here at the shelter, and it keeps them busy. And it's like, melt faster. It's kind of like a doggy ice cream cone. And it really keeps them busy and occupied and is mental stimulation because they're working at, how do I get this?
Right,
and the dogs,
and they're not focused on you leaving.
Right.
They're not focused on you being gone.
Exactly. And you know, some dogs will get really smart when they get the easy stuff out. They learn real soon. If I put it in my mouth and drop it, I can get it to pop out.
Right, yeah.
And so it's just amazing to see how they learn how to manipulate these types of things. Joni, there's a ball that's like that too. I like this ball. It's called an Amaze ball. It's a little bit bigger than a tennis ball. You can squish it, but also you can put food in here, and the same thing. If you roll it around, all of a sudden a treat will come out, and it's like, woo, I want to play with my ball. And this is the one that I use for my dogs when I leave home versus the Kong. So you can, again, a variety. And I know that we do this here for the dogs. Again, just a great stress buster.
Right.
But you know, in addition to having walks and having lots of exercise and having these interaction things, it's also important to have quiet time. You can't be on the go all the time because if you do that, you're going to create what I think you referred to as a marathon dog.
Yeah.
Could you explain how that happens?
Sure. Basically what happens if you're constantly giving your dog activity and you're constantly, you know, taking it for a walk, and so in other words, the dog associates you looks at you, associates you with something that's going to be happening all the time.
You're always moving.
Right, and so of course the dog's like, you know, picking up on your energy, and the dog's like thinking this is something's going to happen now. So I'm on alert, I'm ready, I'm going. And the truth of the matter is that you also need to do just exactly the opposite, which is to teach your dog quiet and calm. And so by doing something like that, and we do that here at the shelter, where we actually just use quiet time.
So you just sit with the dog?
You just sit with the dog.
Petting or no petting?
No petting.
No petting, just sit quietly.
What we ask our volunteers to do and our staff people to do is to just go in a room with a dog, and they can pay attention to the dog in a quiet manner to begin with, but then they can just sit down or they can read the newspaper or read a magazine or whatever the case may be. And what happens is your energy, the dog is attracted to your energy, and you'll see that dog start to calm down and start to actually just rest and relax and really have just a quiet time, which is really, really good for them.
Right.
Obviously, because we can't constantly be on the go, and we talk about that. We create marathon dogs. I mean, if you're constantly running your dog and taking it to the dog park and doing all these extraordinary activities, I mean, that's wonderful, but there also needs to be a balance to that.
Right.
And
They don't learn how to be quiet or how to, it's like I can't sit still.
Right.
And you may actually know some people like that, oh, I have to be doing something, I have to be doing
Right.
something.
Right.
And you need to help your dog learn that it's okay to just sit and watch TV, or to
It
just
is.
sit quietly
Right.
out in the yard and enjoy the sun and listen to the birds.
Sure. So it's really comes down to a balance. It's really a balance, Cheryl. It's not like, you know, you should do one more than the other, but your dog should be able to adapt to both. And so it's important that you meet both those needs.
Okay. So those two combined is a really good enrichment program.
It's a really good enrichment program, and it's going to create a really stable dog.
Okay. Well, why don't we demonstrate how much the dogs like this?
Oh yeah, let's do that. Okay.